Next up are Dick and Yike.
Oh, namaste.
Namaste.
Good to see you.
Good to see you both.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the opportunity to ask you a question.
Yeah, go.
I wasn't prepared for it, but I have a question about something you said while explaining chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita. You say something like, prior to being skillful with the gunas, you have to go to transcendence. And I had the opportunity of the feeling that in my case, it went the other way around. I've been, I think my path, maybe it started before, but it feels like it started with working on myself and on my moods, managing the moods. And I think that opened ways to transcend. So I was a bit surprised about it. And you also say something like, prior to this, the best way to keep connected to your original nature is transcendent. So this is also the same thing. While I feel that in my case, it went the other way around, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you can speak to this.
Well, it depends if a person is awareness or experiential. An experiential person, the development of the journey is through their experiences, their psychological human embodiment. So therefore, getting better psychological treatment, trying to become a better human, it actually serves in both cases, but it's the path by which you then become more available to the transcendent. So it's from below to above. And then there are those who it's the above forces that comes down because they're more open to the upper chakras. So it's from, I call them top downers, right? And there's a lot more top downers than bottom uppers in my experience. I would say maybe 30%, 25% are bottom uppers. So the transcendence can become the means by which someone can recognize the gunas, but the transcendence won't be able to do that unless they're enough in their body to be able to know their own gunas. Once you can track the reactivity or the less reactivity or the desires or the cravings of the body and all the different tamas, rajas, and sattva, well, then there's nothing, you're in a muddle. You're not actually able to go anywhere in awareness. So they have to embody, they have to come down and meet the stuff in their body they've not had to meet because they pop up into their intellect, to their projections, to their judgments, to whatever else. And, we're all a mix of the two, so it's not so simple. So it works in either case. Now, ultimately, transcending the gunas occurs in two places. It occurs with the sat and occurs with the asat. Now, what's talked about in all the traditions is the sat. So when you come to that supreme state of the awareness, nirvana, the Brahman, the absolute, then you are in a causal position in a relationship to the gunas. The only thing is most people, almost all people aren't able to live in that state. They go into that state and come out and all the shit is there as it was before. and they will tend to dismiss all of it, any responsibility for any of it, not developing as a person, and therefore they keep going into their transcendence to feel better about themselves or not to have to deal with the issues. Well, we're not interested in that on this path. We're interested in coming in and owning the shit and then lifting it up into something that is nurturing for the world. So yeah, but therefore, ultimately, when one goes beyond the gunas, be you embodied or disembodied, you're in the causal state. The embodied form can manifest from that place. The disembodied form can't. And there's the ultimate byproduct of being able to come to responsibility for how the gunas have been running you, which would be how your modes are running you, how your thoughts are running you, and all that stuff. Yeah.
So that's why you ask us, you support us to manifest.
Exactly. The nature of this work is not about getting out of Dodge. It's about actually getting into Dodge. So, it is not an escape route. The freedom that comes in the midst of your bondage transforms the world. When we can own and be present with the parts of ourselves that we haven't embodied or met, we shift the collective consciousness in powerful ways, both because of our own personal sacrifice to meet it instead of our usual strategies to avoid it, but also because when we take that action, it's the supreme acting through us. When we own our shit, it is the Brahman that makes that sacrifice in us. And therefore, we empower that principle in ourselves and inevitably for the world, no matter what is the situation that we come into or is present or present with. All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.